So this is your December 2024 market update here for the coastal Maryland and Delaware area. Appreciate you coming by. I'm going to go over the interest rate, all the numbers and the stats that you would want to know through the MLS. And of course, what I'm seeing here on the ground is helping buyers and sellers every day. And I'm going to talk about a couple, issues that have popped up here, particularly in Ocean City about short-term vacation rentals and up in Milton, Delaware as well. What's going on, everybody? This is Rich, your local coastal Maryland and Delaware realtor. People that reach out all the time and love it. Never too busy to help. I'm going to leave my contact information down below in the description. Reach out anytime. Love to chat with you if you're thinking about selling or buying. But without further ado, let's hop into the video. All right, so we hopped into the computer here. I always like to start with the interest rate and to go over that information here. So this is the Freddie Mac website, and you can see that the 30-year fix right now is a 6.95%. Obviously, I'm recording this in January, so you get a little sneak peek. That's the updated. But going down this is for December 2024. So let's see where we are. When we're coming into December, sitting at 6.69%, and you can see some movement here. It went down a little bit, then it started to creep back up here towards the end of December and ended up at 6.85% for a 30-year fix. Of course, keep in mind, as I always mention, a second home or investment property would be about a point higher, give or take, depending on your situation on there. But that is the interest rate. So obviously, if you've seen these before, you got Maryland on the left for Worcester County, then Delaware on the right, Sussex County here. So we'll start on the Maryland side, and days on the market for December 59, and you can kind of see that number kind of not quite that different in a lot of these months leading up here. October, it actually got a little bit higher, but 59 months or 59 days for December. So months of inventory, we got 3.5 months, 3.6 accumulation, which that actually has gone down. You can see over here, which is back in October. I remember looking at this. This is like the highest that I've seen it in a while. And then you got your medium sales price of 416,250. See there, and 165 units have sold. So Delaware side, days on the market, they've been pretty steady Eddie over here. 55 days in December. You can see it's all been hovering right around 50 since August, really. Months of inventory, got 3.7 months of accumulation of inventory on the market, and it's been about the same there. Had a little bit more back here, but medium sales price 460 with 511 units sold there. So Delaware side's been pretty steady on that on their end, or the numbers haven't really fluctuated as much as over here on the Maryland side. All right, so let's hop into the map. I always like to show the home buyer index and the buyer demand in this different areas here. So we'll look at December. So let's take a look at Maryland first. Of course, Ocean City here. Matter of fact, I have a listing that I pulled up. Doesn't matter really which listing, but down here we'll look at the home index demand. And you can see the graph is going downwards here, which is normal. And if you look back on January 2024, you can kind of see that's the inflection point here, which, activity will start building up, which it has been, which I've noticed. And particularly this year, coming in December, I've personally been a bit busier than I was the previous year and into January now, which is good. So I know particularly in Ocean City, things have been starting to build back up. Of course, nothing crazy. Interest rates are still on the higher side. Inventory is still a bit on the lower side here. So, still time there. And I think this time of year, I just did a video that it's a good time to buy too, because it's a little less buyer activity. But also on the other side of that, if you're thinking about selling, you can see this inflection point here. Things are starting to build up. So it's a good time of year to put your home on the market if you're thinking about selling, so you can start ramping that up, put some marketing behind it, and catch that wave, so to speak. But let me go back here and we'll look at just on the Delaware side. Let me just, a little example up here. Let's check out like Lewis. Let's pick any listing here. And you see their graph looks a little bit different, but still on that decline. But again, when you're looking back the previous year here, you're going to see that inflection point start to come back up. But it's It says it's slow right now, but they've always had a little bit more activity up in Lewis. Again, lots of new construction, which that's the majority of the clients that I've been helping is new construction up this way, and existing homes too. But that shows you the Lewis area with some of the buyer index demand. So let's keep this moving. One thing I mentioned in the intro is about short-term rentals, and I'm going to talk about here a little bit more about what I'm seeing on the ground, and some new rules that are coming to play over this way. Let me go back here. So Ocean City was the first one. I've made a little video on this, and it seems like the things that they've been proposing in Ocean City, they're adding things onto it, and I think it's frustrating some of the local homeowners, whether that be if you live there primarily or of course, what a lot of people have are second homes in Ocean City. And what they're trying to do is put restrictions on how you can use your property and rent those, which, this isn't uncommon. A lot of areas are trying to find a balance with vacation rentals and with those that are living there full time. So with this one in Ocean City, if you're not familiar with it, they were looking for, and this is just for low density, like residential 1 zoning. So detached single family homes, more so on the Bay side. And there's a few spots there, but some big communities like Montego Bay, and there's places back in like Little Salisbury, down towards downtown Ocean City. There's some spots in there too, but they're looking to do a 5-night minimum stay, which isn't bad. Weekly rentals, especially for I think larger homes. Most people who rent those are doing at least I think a week. I think the only thing that this hurts is like, a lot of the big concerts that Ocean City are doing, maybe it's hard for somebody maybe to do a full week if they're coming in for the concert, and maybe they have, a large family with them, or maybe it's like 2 families that want to go in together, which is not uncommon to rent a larger home. They might not want to do a whole week, maybe just like a long weekend, like a 3-day. So that kind of, I think, hurts that a little bit. And maybe on the shoulder months or off season, maybe some people are not going to do maybe a full week necessarily. But this is the big thing here that they put in play. This is this rental license moratorium. So this is a big deal. So what they're saying, you can kind of read this, is in these zoning areas, mobile home parks like Montego Bay and the single family, is in 2025, those who have a rental license can still rent, but of course they got to do this 5-night minimum stay. But if that person sells the house, the new buyer cannot get a license, cannot rent. So, if I think this might affect the appeal of the probably the pricing of the property. It could affect that, I believe. Not always, but I think that does shrink your buyer pool. At least in here, it does say that they're just doing this for 2025, and I guess they're going to revisit it. So, and every time since I've done my one video, which was about a month or so ago, some of this moratorium or whatever was just introduced. So this is interesting. But they're having another meeting February 3rd on the Monday, and they encourage people to come out. Technically, you can't vote if you're not a full-time resident, which is a shame, but you can still voice your opinion. If you have, an opinion on this, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think on this. Also, let me hop over here. Milton, Delaware is kind of going through something similar. Milton is becoming more popular as time moves on. Lewis has a lot of new construction going on there, and Milton is kind of getting this as well. And it seemed like just what I read here, I think most of this is more so, looks like in their downtown area, but I could be wrong about that. But it looks like they're starting to come up with some solutions about vacation rentals and how to regulate them, to be friendly with those that live there year round. Milton, particularly, and Ocean City, so popular, millions of people coming in and out of there. I really think there's room for everybody. They need places to stay, and I think people should have the choice of what they want to do. Not everybody likes to go to a hotel. They might want a larger house, Airbnb style. All right. So there we have it. That's the information on the December 2024 market update and a couple of those issues that are going on. So make sure you leave a comment. Love to hear what your thoughts on all this, and hopefully all that information has given you some good updates on a good feel what's going on here in the coastal Maryland and Delaware area. So I appreciate you coming by, and of course, should love, click that like button, and of course subscribe so you don't miss any of the information that I come out with every week. And until next time, I'll see you soon.